Hi guys and gals, it's Jim. We're back here with Sports with Mano and Mano. It's October 30th, 2021, and as usual, I'm here with my partner.
Good morning, everybody, on Halloween Eve. Mischief night, we're goosey night people.
That's a good point because when we were out of Oakland, New Jersey, people never heard of Goosey Night. We've heard of Mischief Night, Gate Night, Cabbage Night.
Correct. Not only did we never hear of the other ones, but nobody ever heard of Oakland, New Jersey.
Apparently. But it is Goosey Night, so you got to sit outside with your hose in case people try to toilet paper your yard.
Yeah,
right?
I have 8 dozen eggs ready to go myself right now. I have a list of enemies. I'll be targeting houses throughout the neighborhood.
I don't know that kids still do that anymore.
I'm gonna go with the old black ninja to just blend into the night.
Yeah, I'm not a Marvel guy.
Yeah, I went to BJ's and loaded up on toilet paper too. You can never have enough toilet paper on.
Well, I saw a picture of my granddaughter dressed up for Halloween. She was like a princess unicorn. Very cute.
I bet.
Very cute. So anyway, welcome back to the show. We got a lot of sports to talk about, but I'm going to hand it off to my partner, Steve. He has this week's monologue.
I do. And my monologue this week is, unfortunately, it's this continuation of these sex abuse stories in professional sports. So the big story was John Doe on the Blackhawks. This scandal has been brewing, and this guy came out publicly, and his name is Kyle Beach, and he's like in his early 30s, plays professionally in Germany. Incident happened in 2010. And I've talked to numerous people throughout the week about it. My first reaction, of course, is this is a hockey player, and if this guy made a pass at him, or if I was in that chair and the guy made a pass at me, he'd be 10 feet through the wall, whether it be concrete, brick, what have you. So, first and foremost, but I'm not minimizing the psychological effect this has, right? So then the other big story is the fallout. So Joel Quenneville, who's been coaching the Florida Panthers, 7-0, second all-time in wins, or second or third all-time in wins, Stanley Cup champion, was forced to resign. Stan Bowman, the president of the Blackhawks for a long time now, son of Scotty, forced to resign. My point about these guys is, and I wanted to make this point, and it gets back to Paterno and Schembechler and everything else we talked about. It was the culture, but the point is, when this incident is reported initially, there is no handbook that these guys had in their top right drawer to pull out, and in page 74, section 6, it says how to deal with the sexual abuse. Okay, first and foremost, Quenneville is in the meeting when it's discussed about this incident, and he says, basically, we cannot let this out. We're on the verge of making a run for the Stanley Cup. Here's my point. I don't care if it's Joel Quenneville. I don't care if it's Stan Bowman, Bo Schembechler, Joe Paterno. I don't care what sport it is, major of the four. Every organization would have done the exact same thing. They would have swept it under the rug. I'm telling you, that's exactly what would happen. Does it make it right? No. But it's a learning experience now, and going forward, obviously, everybody's on notice. And I'm not defending Bowman. I'm not defending Quenneville, but I understand from their perspective why they did what they did. Okay. And that's it.
And listen, we have talked about this for time and time again, and we just went through the whole Gruden thing, and actually we were with a friend of yours, Greg Pavati, the other night, and we were talking about it, and I said, Joel Quenneville will be out by the morning, and the next morning he was out. Because he did. He did bury it. They all buried it. And we saw, listen, we give 2 thumbs up to this Kyle Beach, and I actually said that statement this morning to somebody. I said, this guy's a predator. They know he's a predator. The last guy you would pick to try to make a move on is a hockey player, right?
Right.
But there was no defending it. They knew about it. They buried it. And in today's day and age, that's just unacceptable. And they're finally getting accountability across major sports. But this was a shocking story. And Stan Bowman, you're right. I mean, Stan Bowman, son of Scotty, as you pointed out.
I even made the point during the week. I said, do you think Scotty Bowman went to his father Stan Bowman went to his father, Scotty, and said, "Hey, Dad, did Larry Robinson or Yvonne Cornwallis or Steve Shutt or Guy Lafleur, were they ever abused by?" No.
Exactly.
Okay?
These are one-offs, but they got to weed
Right.
these people out of sports.
Again,
That's all I can
I'm
say.
adamant about this point. It's like they're sitting in their office and then this is brought to their desk. How the hell are they supposed to react to this?
Okay, well,
They did what they were going to do, and to my point, every general manager, president, coach would have done the exact same thing and swept it under the rug.
well, they would have done what's now should
Hoping
be
it doesn't come out.
and what's now turned as a paterno, right? Look the other way for the bigger picture.
And
winning
again,
it.
I'm not defending it.
You can't.
I'm just
There
stating.
is no defending.
I'm just stating a fact of
Yep.
right.
But listen, you knew it was going to happen, and it's going to happen more and more. This kind of stuff coming out, and you can't defend it. Gwenville knew, Bowman knew.
Of course they knew.
They had to fall, and that's how it goes. So listen, our monologue was sponsored by Coriano Trucking of Summer Hill, New York, this week, and we thank them and hope they're doing well up north. Probably going to start snowing soon up there.
Thank you, Guy. That doesn't impede him from getting the truck from point A to B.
And he won't. It'll get there. So let's move on to Major League Baseball. We'll get the World Series underway.
Oh, that started?
Yep.
Oh, it did, huh?
Last night was Game 3. Braves won 2-0, so they're up 2-1 in the series. What do you think?
Listen, I do handicapping, as you know. I took the Braves. I took them at -1.5 runs. They win 2-0. Reason I did that was Ian Anderson was on the mound.
5
Again,
no-hit innings.
this kid, I mean, like Fried, and they're loaded, man.
Yeah.
Right? Atlanta, before the Yankees got the crown as the top form system for the last couple of years, Atlanta slowly been building, and I'm so happy.
And they're doing this all without Ronald Acuna, their best player.
Exactly.
I mean, it's crazy, right?
And I wanted to bring up Danby Swanson, the number 1 overall pick in Major League Baseball. It's probably 8 years now, something like that. Mm-hmm. But is he
starting to bear fruit off the tree?
Yeah,
right?
but my point is, he's not Mickey Mantle. He's not Stan Musial. He's not that Babe Ruth. He's a damn good baseball player and an integral part of why the Braves are who they are. And like I said, it's probably 8 years, so he's a team leader, right?
And this guy, Adam Duvall, is awesome.
But he scored on that short sacrifice fly in the other game, right? Yep. Like, that's hustle. That's leadership. And I just want to acknowledge Danby Swanson. I'm rooting for the Braves. And I mentioned on the show, I never liked the Braves.
Well, I told you to keep an eye on the Braves. I wouldn't be shocked if they walked over the Dodgers, which they did.
I just thought that it was a little early for them to have peaked. Yeah. But I like this group of players, and
how about
I'm rooting for them.
How about this?
I hate Houston.
Morton? How about this Charlie Morton thing? I mean,
it's a bad break.
What a great moment in sports. Totally. I mean, this guy was like a hockey player for crying out loud.
I'm a big fan of Charlie Morton.
Big time.
And he killed the Yankees.
Yes,
I mean, when he was on Tampa, forget about it.
Lights out. No doubt about it. But that was a great moment. What a bunch of courage. When you see that in sports, you gotta love it.
Right. And unfortunately, they're becoming far and few between with how I had to open the show with stories like that.
Right. But when you talk about the Braves, to shut down the Houston Astros, they gotta. And I did want to bring this up because we talked about this for years. The Altuve thing. I looked at his numbers. His numbers haven't changed much, over the course of time. I'm just saying. You said let's keep an eye on him, see how he performs, and listen. They're not going to shut out the Houston Astros again.
One buzz is a fastball, 2 buzzes is a curve.
That is ridiculous.
And 3 is the slider.
I still don't believe it.
Oh yeah, anyway. I do.
But they're not going to shut out the Houston Astros again. So they got to hit some home runs.
As we take the show to another level, we're going to have a little fan poll probably or something like that. And believe me, with today's technology.
Yep. So that's the story in baseball other than Bob Melvin. That was a surprise move going over to the San Diego Padres from the Oakland A's. He was kind of a fixture in Oakland. He must know they're moving or something, and he wants to stay in California, possibly. Right?
Yeah, listen. No, I mean,
He's a good manager. Good manager.
No, I like Bob Melvin. I'd take that gig.
Yeah.
To your point, the A's, I think will wind up moving to Las Vegas. I do, and I think that's a smart move to do.
Well, eventually they're going to get a
No,
franchise
the
in
Oakland
Vegas.
Council and City Council have been screwing them for years. They've been wanting to build this stadium forever.
But nobody goes to the games, and they've been
Because they're
pretty
in a
good years.
stadium that is not baseball.
I've never been in it, but I drove by it on the train.
I've driven by it.
you know,
I've never been in it myself.
Yeah.
But, Reggie Jackson, Joe Rudy, Raleigh Fingers,
Great
Sal
memories
Bando,
from that.
Catfish Hunter are not playing. That's why nobody's going to the games.
Yeah.
But we remember that. Like,
do.
The A's three-peat. It was awesome.
Yeah. But let's see, that was a surprise move. So listen, Major League Baseball is underway. We'll probably be talking about the World Series champion by next show. But like I said,
we love
don't
it.
rule Houston out.
Oh, you
I
can't.
picked them from the start, and I'm gonna stick with them.
You can't because of what they did with the Red Sox. I mean, the Red Sox beat them, 9-1, a couple games, something like that.
Yep,
This
yep.
team can score runs.
They can.
But Atlanta's pitching is...
Bregman hasn't even started a hit yet. He's gonna get hot.
Atlanta's home again tonight, so if Atlanta wins and it's 3-1...
It's the 2-3-2 playoff format.
I would love for Atlanta. And I hate to say this.
They haven't won a World Series since 1995, and they've had some.
I
good
have to
teams
bring
in
up the
between.
Dusty Baker factor. I do.
I like Dusty.
That's
him a
the
lot.
point.
Yeah.
The guy has got my ultimate respect, but as a manager, he ain't going to win it.
No, he's due. He's due.
Yeah. That's my point.
I actually got to say,
if he doesn't win it now, he's never winning. That's my point.
No, I think this is their year.
Right,
so,
he's only, 74?
I think he's what? He might be 70. I think he might have just turned 70.
He did 70 years ago. He turned
Really?
70.
He's not 77.
No, I'd say 73, 74.
Yeah. So listen, anyway, so baseball, we'll be talking about it. Enjoy it. Game 4 tonight.
Game 4 tonight. Not much news otherwise in Major League Baseball of movement or anything like that, and that'll be the hot stove stuff.
Yep. So let's move on to the NBA. Listen, I got to tell you, I watched a couple of games. I watched the Celtics and the Knicks, and I watched the Bulls and the Knicks.
Yeah.
They were pretty good games. And listen, my position. I don't watch a lot of NBA games. It's kind of boring.
Yeah.
But these were kind of exciting.
No, I'm actually, I like the Knicks. I mean, they've been our team, right?
Can't get through the Bucks and can't get through
but,
anybody
in
else.
our youth, they were the team. So
we loved it.
I'm old enough to remember the '73 championship. I don't know if you remember the '70, which is probably a tough stretch. But after like 1978 until Ewing, right? So there was a huge gap after Ewing. Just a completely ridiculous abyss of ridiculousness.
I mean, they can't get through they'll make the playoffs for sure. And this guy Randall, I got to tell you, I've been more and more impressed.
Yeah. I'm an R.J. Barrett guy.
I know you
I
are.
love this kid, man.
But I actually like the addition of this kid Fournier for the Knicks.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy can light it up.
No, listen, they had a good year last year, and Tibbs is one of the best coaches. So we shall see. They're not going to win the world championship. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I think our astute fans are.
No, I think they're a year or two away from having the ability to get that.
Well,
whoever the next LeBron James.
They need the next marquee guy.
Yeah, whoever that would be.
Yeah.
So they'll at least be in play for that. Where
Yep.
they were, for the last 20 years they weren't in play.
Yeah, and
nobody wanted to come here.
And listen, we agreed not to talk about it, but the Brooklyn Nets, they win one, lose one.
We can talk about the Brooklyn Nets. Our agreement is about a member of the Brooklyn Nets.
Exactly. But last night, Harden and Kevin Durant, put up, plus 50 as a team. They got a lot of talent on the team, but I was looking at it. The starting five, they got some talent on the bench. Outside of Patty Mills, I'm not sure they're deep enough.
Yeah?
I'm getting a little worried.
Huh. Why, was it the trade for James Harden that they...
Well, my feelings on that. That was blackmail against the Houston Rockets.
No question.
Trade me and that kind of... We talked about that to death. But
How's that working out for you down in Houston, Deshaun?
But how about Steph Curry, man? He's still lighting it up, man.
Wow.
He's unbelievable.
He's
You know.
he's the best. He's the best shooter in the history of the NBA. He is.
I wish we saw more of Jerry West.
I never thought I would say I'd see a better shooter than Larry Bird.
Pete Maravich wasn't up there.
Well,
you know?
when Pete was hot, he was. I mean, Pete was an offensive. Didn't play defense or anything because that's what
Super John Williamson.
He wasn't raised that way.
Right.
But Seth Curry, unquestionably, is
he's
the
got
best shooter in the history of the NBA.
He just dropped some.
It's not even an
shots.
argument anymore. It's not.
But actually, listen. We're only like 7 games into the NBA season. It's a long season. But I've actually watched more. I think the Boston Celtics look a little in disarray, to be quite honest.
New
with you,
coach.
you know?
They
Transition year.
I mean, Jason Tatum is a nice player, but they don't have the pieces.
Jaylen Brown is another guy, right? He's good.
Okay.
Where's the big man? You're asking, right? You know?
Well, they got Al Horford back, but he's been hurt.
Oh God, Al Horford's got to be 15 years.
Al Horford has a couple years left. Al Horford is a good player. He's a good guy too.
No, I know, but he's been around forever. You know.
He certainly has.
But your Ben Simmons guy is still on the bench in Philadelphia. I still think they're going to move him, but
well, like I said it, they're going to move him, but they're not moving him tomorrow because they are going to wait to get the max value they can.
Okay.
It's a done deal. This guy is not staying in Philadelphia.
No, exactly. That's over. But the NBA is actually good, and LeBron is, he's going to miss a game or two here and there. You got to rest.
Well,
him.
Father Time's even getting to
Today's. I think somebody said it's his 18th year in the NBA. Remember when we saw him coming out of high school? That picture we saw in the Daily News, him sitting on the bench next to these tiny little guys that were called his teammates,
his classmates.
And we saw this and go, look at the size of this guy.
What are you kidding? He had a beard and mustache.
I'll never forget that picture. It was amazing. Amazing.
It would be no different than him going back today and sitting on the bench with the current crop of 8th graders.
Exactly.
The picture would look exactly the same 18 years later.
But I did see highlights from his first year, like the early Shaq. There was a leanness to them, ultimately became these gargantuan, figures.
Yeah, no question.
But anyway, so NBA, that's going on. Let's move to the NFL, Steve. Tom Brady's 600th touchdown pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Compiler? Not.
No, I mean,
right?
in this instance, no.
No.
Right? It's Tony Romo getting, in a little hot water for his comment about the negotiation that the fan should have asked Tom.
He may take a fall for this.
He's not taking a fall for it.
I don't know.
It was in good fun. It
Of
really
course
was.
He's jolly, jovial,
no, but I get
affable.
I get how they could take this and run with it, but no, it was a play on the situation. I tell you, the fan made out pretty damn good, though. Season tickets next year.
I know.
2 jerseys signed, a helmet signed, a football signed.
Everybody thought it the first time when he gave the ball, that's all he got was a ball.
Nah, I think if you value it out, it's $100,000 the guy got.
Even Brady gave him some Bitcoin or some kind of thing.
$63,000 worth. Thanks.
I'll take it.
Totally.
We have a deal.
And I want all the free hot dogs during the next 2 seasons.
All the coffee I could drink. Cafe latte.
Says right here, I can have as many coffee lattes as I want.
Anyway, so a couple other things in the NFL. Jameis Winston's playing pretty well for New Orleans. I know. I knew you were going to grunt and groan.
No, listen, I said this
during. But we respect Sean Payton's decision to say maybe there. I
said this during the week. Right, New Orleans is playing Seattle, and I had to be objective. Okay, but it's Jameis Winston versus Geno Smith. Even I know that Jameis Winston is a more talented quarterback than Geno Smith.
It's hard to believe he's still actually.
And I can't believe I had to even say that. Mm-hmm. But he'll implode. Just give it time.
But, Arizona, Green Bay, that was a good game the other night. It was
a great game.
And now Murray got hurt. I think he's missing the next game.
Yeah, he'll be all right. Cardinals are good.
They are good.
They're very good. Defense.
J.J. Watt, he's out for the season. You knew
Who
that.
cares? He's been out for the last 5 years.
Exactly.
Right. He's going to the
Hall. Mammoth contract.
He's going to the Hall of Fame, J.J. Watt.
I don't know if he's
Yes,
got
he is. He's won the defensive MVP, I think, 3 times.
I know, but you're
He's
right.
going to the Hall of Fame.
Out of the 9 years he's been in the league, he's got like 3 on the field, though. And he was good when he was on the field.
He had that 5-year, 6-year stretch of
right.
winning 3 defensive MVP, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Dominant.
Right. But I actually did, and I got to bring this up because I went to a Patriots games against the Jets this past weekend.
Been waiting for your
And I gotta
scouting report.
I got a couple of things. The stadium and the venue, outstanding. The fans, outstanding. The experience, outstanding. It was great. I mean, but Jack Wilson got hurt, and but I got to tell you, it was a nice venue. What a beautiful stadium. You know, on a fall day, crispy clear. It was,
And what an ass kicking.
and it was. And it was just a dominating thing. You know, watch Bill Belichick walk up and down the sideline. And I said, it was like 32-10. And I said, if he can put 50 on the board, he will. And they did.
They almost put 60 on the board, but they ran out of time. Bill Belichick hates the Jets.
Exactly.
Hates them.
I was telling my colleagues at the game the exact same thing. You know, something happened years ago.
Oh, come on. We could do a week show on this.
Exactly.
I know why he hates them, and
Exactly.
it's too bad for the Jets. Put a good product out on the field and be competitive.
Right,
It's the only way to combat it.
But the Giants went down to Carolina, and Sam Darnold, they want to ship him out of Dodge already.
Carolina came up north. They came to the Giants. The game was in the Meadowlands, and Sam made his return. And Sam is
Sam.
The legs are falling off the cart for Sam.
Sham Darnold.
Hey,
Okay.
they need Christian McCaffrey. It's that simple.
Yeah, they're nothing
Christian
without
McCaffrey's that good.
He is good.
He is.
But Wilson got hurt, so the Jets are going with Mike White as the starting quarterback this week.
That's right, and they made a huge move during the week, getting Joe Flacco back.
Wow,
Flacco, who could care less whether they win, lose, couldn't care less.
You're going to pay me how
$10
much?
million? I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Absolutely.
Right.
The Jets are an absolute mess.
I'm starting to wonder
no.
about. I was thinking this because I said in the beginning of the season I'd like them to at least win 7 games, and I was kind of a buyer of Robert Saleh. It doesn't seem like he has a clue.
No,
A clue.
I can guarantee you.
I like him as a person, but as a coach, it's killing
You
me.
know who doesn't have a clue? And the look on the sideline is Opie Taylor from the Andy Griffith Show calling the plays. Mike LaFleur. Okay? You talk about somebody who looks
Lost?
like a high school offensive coordinator.
Wow.
I'm telling you, it's bad.
Okay.
It's really bad. The defense, listen, there's been some spots where, okay, they've looked good. Look at the numbers. The Jets have given up. Oh, it's incredible.
Enormous.
Enormous.
Even with Marcus May coming back and all that kind of stuff, right?
Offensively, the only team not to score in the first quarter.
Yeah.
The list is endless. It's so bad. It is so bad. And Saleh,
He's over his head.
well, he's coming back, but he's coming back with a hell of a lot more assistance.
Oh, yeah.
Different
He's
assistants.
not going to be a one and
Oh,
done.
this Mike LaFleur. See you later. Pack
Yeah.
your bags. Go coach with your brother in Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that shocking Flacco back to the Jets. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
He was only 0-5 for the Jets last year.
Oh, God. It's unbelievable.
Anyway, so I wanted to give an update while we're talking about the NFL because you and I have talked about Roger Goodell and this money-making machine called the National Football League.
I thought you were going to say the money-making machine that Roger Goodell is.
Well, that's my point. I'm saying, I underestimated. I said he makes $40 million a year. He made $128 million over the past 2 years in the National Football League.
Business is good.
Exactly. He is Lee Iacocca bringing General Motors.
Michael
out of the
Eisner.
ground.
Jack Welch.
Yep. Wow. Wow.
All that means is that's how much money's out there.
But this is
that's why quarterbacks are being paid $40 million a
But
year.
this was my monologue last week saying, then take care of these guys that are making you the money.
You can't. Roger can't live on $120 million. What do you think he is? He's got rent to pay in Manhattan.
Exactly. He lives in Westchester.
His chateau in
Westchester.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God, though! I just wanted to bring that up. So the NFL's going on. How's your quarterback in Dallas doing?
Well, I actually read a quote from him, and Jerry actually in the quote said, like I always do my impression of him,
We think it's in the best interest of the Cowboys to rest Dak for this week.
we feel Dak will be a game time decision.
So you're going with Cooper Rush?
They're not going with Cooper Rush. That Prescott's playing tomorrow night on national TV.
No?
Oh, bullshit.
They've already announced that Cooper Rush is the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. First career start.
Makes sense.
Well, I'm just telling you.
All right. You know what? Then all that means is...
Hope he doesn't drop his clipboard on the way to the huddle, you know.
You know what? I guess it makes sense. We're going to win the division by 4 or 5 games anyway.
Yes, you are.
So
Yes, you
I
are.
guess in retrospect, I'll take that back.
Yeah.
All right. He's had a week off. We had the bye week, so what's another week? Why not give Cooper Rush experience? Okay. But, no, my point is Dak wants to play because I was reading all about Dak, you know. But it makes sense.
Stay home, have his chunky soup,
Going to
and
Minnesota.
film a couple
Yeah,
commercials.
it's cold in Minnesota.
Anyway, so let's move on from the National Football League. Let's move on to the college gridiron.
The college gridiron?
Some good games. Michigan State this week. What do
Yes.
you like?
Well, yesterday, big news. My daughter Emily applied to the University of Michigan officially.
Okay.
So, I'm trying not to let it make me
Influence your decision?
influence my decision.
I know.
I won't be surprised if Michigan State at home and the Wolves
They
trip
got
up
one of
this
the
week.
best running backs in the country.
They're going to be fired up for this
Kenneth
game.
Walker, Michigan State.
They're going to
He's
be
good.
fired up for this game. We talked about it, I think, a couple weeks ago. We can see Michigan, maybe a 1 or 2 loss team going into Ohio State.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Ohio State's beating them. So make no mistake.
I'm not making my selection. I just said last week that this is Michigan's best opportunity, but we'll see. But what do you like? Who do you like, the Spartans or the Wolverines today? You're the handicapper of the bunch here.
I'm gonna go with Michigan. I'm gonna say it's be a very tight game, but I'll go with Michigan.
I'm going to go with Michigan State.
Are you?
I really think that, this Kenneth Walker is. I just don't know that the Wolverine defense could stop this guy. And again, I'm a bias because and we used to love Jim Harbaugh for the record when he was quarterback in Michigan.
We did.
But as a coach, I can't stand him. I like this thing, what Mel Tucker's done in Michigan State. I'm going with the Spartans.
Yep.
Other good games today, though. Penn State, Ohio State. And like I said,
Ohio State is favored by 19 points, although Sean Clifford is back for Penn State at quarterback.
Right.
Ohio State is playing at a level now offensively where they're Ohio State. This is the team that everybody anticipated it to be. I won't be surprised if Ohio State makes a run and gets into the top 4.
Yep.
I think Ohio State wins handily.
Okay. But here's probably one of, I think, the most interesting team that's been playing at a level I'm not sure any of us thought. Kenny Pickett and the Pitt Panthers. How about that?
I'm glad you mentioned that.
I mean, they're 9.5-point favorites over the Miami Hurricanes. When does that happen?
Miami has won 3 straight.
Yep.
However, Kenny Pickett,
Having a year.
yeah,
23
touchdown passes, 1 interception, just became the all-time completions leader at Pitt, and a guy named, I think his name was
Marino?
something like that. Dan
Marino, yeah.
Marino.
And who was second? Matt Kavanaugh, right?
There's been quarterbacks that have gone through there. Alex Van Pelt would probably be my guess.
He put up some numbers. He did.
But Pitt should be favored. Miami is a disaster. They're 3-4. The Eric King
Out for the year,
can't
right?
stay on the field. He got hurt last year.
Yep.
Manny Diaz, I think, is in trouble there. The head coach of Miami. Miami has to come north. I love Pitt.
Okay.
I love Pitt.
I got to say.
If this Kenny Pickett could win the Heisman. Actually, you know what? I saw a
win the Heisman?
I saw a comparison a week ago.
Not even close. But
Okay, can I finish?
you may.
I saw a comparison between Joe Burrow's numbers at the halfway point and Kenny Pickett's numbers at the halfway point.
Almost
Razor
identical.
thin.
Okay. Well, you had Burrow picked. I missed that.
And this is not a good quarterback class coming out for the draft. This is not 1983 Elway Marino. And,
There'll never be another year like
but,
that.
But even a couple years ago, with Allen and Mayfield and all that. So Kenny Pickett, listen, if he continues what he's doing, watch out for him. He could win the Heisman.
I like seeing it. Remember that season we saw Tony Dorsett's Heisman season? Every Pitt game,
Like it was yesterday,
was on television.
Number 33,
and we literally watched every single
right.
Pitt
And
game.
I also said this to my coworker today or yesterday. I said, I love the fact that Pitt went back to being Pitt with the uniforms, with the helmet.
Yep.
Love that helmet.
It was
the
classic.
colors.
It was
I hate when these teams go away from their
original.
But I get this jersey sales and all
It's
that.
a marketing thing.
Of course it is.
Right.
But I think the fan base influenced Pitt to go back because that's what they want. If I was an alum of Pitt, I would have said, give me back. I love those uniforms, man. Those
like
blue
them too.
jerseys.
I like them too.
Bill Fralick and Hugh Green and Marino.
Wow, good players you just nailed.
Jumbo Covert.
Very good.
Totally. What are you kidding? Larry Fitzgerald. But Larry Fitzgerald actually played with, the gold helmet with Pitt on the side and the darker blue, right?
He's going to the Hall of Fame.
So I just wanted to mention that. It's a thing about me. I like tradition.
But listen, college football is just as intense as any other football. And by the way, today, biggest game in New Jersey, and we talked about it last week, was Bergen Catholic, who beat St. Joe's, which wasn't really a surprise. I actually saw the game. This is a really talented team playing St. Peter's Prep today.
Yep.
It's actually being broadcast on NJ.com today live for fans across the country. You can check that out. St. Joe's playing Del Barton today.
Yep.
So high school football, college football, it's really awesome. Plenty to do.
You know who I bumped into? I forgot to mention this to you
Go.
2 nights ago. Nunzio Campanelli.
Oh,
Nunzio's the tight ends coach, former interim head coach at Rutgers, former Bergen Catholic guy, etc. So I was in the store and I got 5 minutes with Nuns. I haven't seen Nuns because I used to coach his son. It's been a couple years, and I said, "How are you going to do against Illinois?" He goes, "Well, I'm try to win." I said, "Well, are you going to win?" And we laughed. I know we're football guys.
comes from a great football family.
I said, when you see Augie Hoffman, Nuns, tell him hello from the Monahans, and they flew out at 3:00 yesterday on the plane. Inside info, but Rutgers is at Illinois today. They're 3-game losing streak. They have a chance to win. I think they should.
This is the whole thing we've
Artur
talked about.
Satowski, the former Rutgers quarterback, broke his arm last week. So that's unfortunate. This kid doesn't get to, stick it to Rutgers or at least have a opportunity to do it.
But listen, with Nunzio and Augie, these coaches, we root for Rutgers, but it's kind of the same conversation. Can they compete with these Big Ten teams, the Michigans, the Ohio States? Well, this is what you signed up for, so we'll see how that goes. But college, high school football underway. And that segment was sponsored by Lynch Toyota of Manchester, Connecticut, who was such a gracious host for us and our college colleagues at the new Foxborough Stadium. It was great.
And thanks for my foam finger. I love it. I put a request in to get a foam finger.
Well, here's an interesting thing. In stadiums, cashless now, 100%. Don't even bring cash to the game. They don't accept it.
They don't accept cash?
No.
Really?
Yep. Vendors and, whatever, parking.
Beer here.
Anyway, so before we move off football, just going to give my 2 picks for the week. And again, Steve's the handicapper, but I don't do sports. I do a win or lose. San Francisco at Chicago. And this, I mentioned this to Tony, our loyal listener from out west. I'm taking the 49ers. And
At Chicago?
At Chicago.
You're nuts.
Okay. We'll talk next week. I was 2-0 last week.
You're nuts.
And Philadelphia, Detroit. Probably the biggest game of the day, right?
Yeah.
See if Dan Campbell, a.k.a. Johnny Cakes,
Yep.
can win his first game. I think they do. I'm going with Detroit.
Really?
So give me your 2 picks, Mono.
I'm going to have to go. It kills me to bet against Mike White and the Jets, but I'm going to go with the Bengals.
That's a reach.
We're here to win. I'm also going to. I think this is the week the Lions win, and I would love it to beat the Eagles, but I think the Lions being home.
And I ate my Jared Goff. I ate it last week. So.
It's dead and buried because Jared Goff stinks.
Yeah.
He's like we said last week. He's at the bottom of the food chain as far as QBR rating and efficiency, and they can make all the excuses that the Lions stink. I get it, but
okay. So we're aligned on that.
I'm going to go with the upset special, the Lions. Yeah, Bengals. I mean, that's going to happen.
And who do the Bengals have?
Steelers, Browns. I'll go with the Browns at home. I think the Steelers are in trouble, even though the Steelers are 3-3.
So you're going with Case Keenum for...
No, Baker's playing.
Baker's playing?
And I got to tell you, Mr. Monahan, I'm not seeing official word on Dak here. I'm trying to look. Did you hear this?
I did.
Well,
I did.
Dak wants to play is the latest I hear.
Okay, well...
I'm just saying. I'm a Cowboy fan.
Well, listen, things change from day to day in this league. Well, I'm just saying right now, do they need it? They're going to win the division, like you said, by 4 games anyway.
We feel.
Right. So anyway, those are our picks, and good luck, folks. And let's move on to our random point of interest segment, Steve. You and I, we talked about, right? Autographs, baseball cards, selling for record numbers. How about this? A pair of Michael Jordan game-worn sneakers. I think it was his 8th game in the NBA.
I remember that game.
$1.47 million. He gave this some, equipment kid from Denver or something.
Of course.
And sells for auction. Used pair of sneakers, $1.47 million.
I can tell you it wasn't me.
But our friend Michael Garvey down in Naples, Florida, he's got some quite the collection of Michael Jordan sneakers.
Oh, look at him. Ooh.
We may have to look for him for some financial support for the show.
Any certificates of authenticity?
Absolutely.
Oh,
He's got
really?
it all backed up.
Oh.
His house is like a museum of sports memorabilia.
And vacuum sealed pouches and
yeah. Mike, envious. Love it.
Can you not stand too close to the sneakers, please? Back up.
But a couple other random points. How about this? Carl Madsen, NFL referee, dies on the way home from an NFL game. Has a heart attack, dies in his car.
Hey.
And I've heard that. We've watched 1,000 games this guy's played. That's tragic.
It's total tragic. Right? Sorry to hear that. That's an R.I.P.
Yeah. And we talked about the Stan Bowman thing, but this is also there's another thing that came up. Bill Guerin. And we remember Bill Guerin, hockey player for the Devils for years, Stanley
Boston
Cup winner.
College, Devils, Stanley Cup winner.
He's going to go the way of Joel Quenneville because there's dirty laundry tied up to him. He buried it. We talked about this on a show about 1.5 years ago.
I remember.
Former BU guy, Clark Donatello.
Yep. With the wife and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So listen, whether it happened yesterday or 5 years
It
ago,
don't matter.
It's coming
There's
out.
no statute on this stuff.
Yep.
You might as well just resign and get it over with.
Anyway, but there was another thing. It's kind of a tragedy. It was the 50th anniversary of a gentleman named Chuck Hughes. Chuck Hughes played for the Detroit Lions. He's the only NFL player ever. He died on the field during a game, had a heart attack.
Yeah.
And there's a famous picture of Dick Butkus standing over him, and he literally died on the field, but that was 1971. He had a good career, Chuck Hughes.
Hey,
But that was something that was... There was an unbelievable picture.
we know a lot. I'm being honest. I never knew that.
I didn't know it either, but I saw it, and I got to tell you, the picture is heartbreaking.
Oh, God, I can imagine.
But Dick Butkus, as ferocious as he was, he saw that something happened, and he knew what happened, and he waved the people on the field, and that's the only time in NFL history a player actually died on the field.
And the one that came the closest as number 2 was Frank Gifford after taking the hit from Chuck Bednarik.
If you haven't seen that hit, and you could YouTube it, it's... And then Bednarik stands over him like a conquering Viking.
It's like Ali standing over Liston.
Exactly. Very good.
Yes.
You couldn't make that hit today. Chuck Bednarik would serve 10 years
You played linebacker, right? Did you not go to bed at night dreaming of laying wood like that?
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I played quarterback, and I was on the other end of receiving said wood.
Exactly.
So.
But anyway, Chuck Hughes, that was 50 years, 1971 it happened.
That's good that you brought that up.
And I wanted to bring this up before we move on to our notable passings. Because we mentioned the Dan Campbell, Johnny Cakes lookalike. I think there's so many lookalikes. Michael Brantley of the Houston Astros looks exactly like Cory Booker, senator from New Jersey. It took me I'm going, who is it? Dead ringer.
Right.
Dead ringer.
Right.
Lookalikes.
I got it.
Right?
Yeah.
Look at it tonight when you watch the Astros game.
I got a random point of interest.
Go ahead.
You know who got married over the weekend?
Oh, no.
Or engaged, married.
Don't tell me a Kardashian.
No, Aaron Hicks of the New York Yankees. You know he married?
Did he fall down the stairs on the way when he got hit with Rice?
Well, he's going to have to walk down the aisle with Tiger Woods' niece, Cheyenne Woods.
Okay. Oh,
it could be
right.
sister or niece or whatever.
She's an established golfer herself, I believe.
Yeah, but anyway, Aaron Hicks, they're either engaged or getting married, and once again, Aaron Hicks has played less games in 6 years than Jacoby Ellsbury did in 4 years for the New York Yankees.
Right.
But Aaron will be paid regardless for another 6 years.
Listen, he's a nice kid. I like him, but he's hasn't
very
produced.
He's great.
No.
I don't want that. I want baseball players playing for the New York Yankees. I want to be in the World Series and win World Series.
People would say that Aaron Hicks is better at golf than he is at baseball.
Then let's hope that he retires from baseball and pursues a PGA
I think we
career.
just lost an opportunity for an interview on our show with
Good.
him. But
Fine.
Anyway,
That's a fair trade-off.
let's move on to our notable passing, Steve. And this is, when we bring up, from sports and entertainment, Bob Ferry, father of Danny Ferry, very established basketball guy, general manager for the Bullets for many years.
Yeah.
84 years old.
Yeah, he was well-respected, executive
He was.
for the NBA. And, Danny, obviously, we know from Duke and Cavaliers and all that stuff. And Danny Ferry, I think, is still in the front office with somebody.
He's been general
Gotta be.
manager at least 3 different teams.
Yeah. So, R.I.P. to...
84, Bob Ferry.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of move on from him to, how about this name, Bob Neumeyer. And this is for our horse racing fans certainly know who Bob Neumeyer is.
I know Bob Neumeyer from
outstanding professional.
From going to school at Boston University.
He was a Boston
Bob
guy,
Neumeyer
right?
used to. There were 2 sports guys, same station, WBZ. Bob Lobel and Bob Neumeyer were the 2 sports guys on that station.
Yeah.
And Neumeyer So,
70 years old.
I knew of Neumeyer. He died too young, man, at 70. But Bob Neumeyer, yes, his forte, loved horse racing.
He did.
And slowly but surely, he branched out of Boston to a national level.
And became a legacy with NBC coverage.
Because his track record was that good.
It was good.
Bob Neumeyer, I always enjoyed him.
Yep.
Big fan. And at 70, that's too young.
Covered many Triple Crown races, and you
respected
could listen.
His opinion.
He knew what he was talking
absolutely. So, R.I.P. Bob Neumeyer.
Yeah, he battled cancer, 70 years old.
Yeah, good guy. Real good guy.
Here's a name from Hollywood, Steve. Val Bisoglia. He was... You know him. He played John Travolta's father in Saturday Night Live. Played Murph on The Sopranos, which I didn't know. But one thing I remember the most was in All in the Family. He played this guy, Ralph Silvestri. And thanks to Mike Garvey for reminding me, you look him up. If you don't know the name, you know the face.
Look at the mug.
Quite a resume. It was on Mary Tyler Moore's everything.
That means everything.
Great actor.
Absolutely.
But I had no idea that was him on The Sopranos as Murph.
And there's a lot of actors out there that we know the face, and sometimes we don't know the name associated with it. He's absolutely one of those.
Oh, you look it up.
Yep.
Last name Bisoglio. Outstanding actor, 95 years old. How about this? Our nostalgia folks, sports, Gene Reynolds. What do you think of when that name comes up? You've seen it 1,000 times on the TV screen. He was like the creator, producer of MASH.
Yeah.
MASH.
Yeah. Like a Larry Gelbart.
Exactly.
Type.
Oh, absolutely.
Type.
It was him and Gelbart. Right. You're right.
Right.
96 years old.
Is that all 96? Yeah. God, I thought he was 105.
But if you watch the first four seasons of MASH, which are great, by the way.
As soon as Henry dies in the helicopter crash, I checked out.
No, but Frank Burns was still there for another year.
I checked out.
But Gene Reynolds.
Sorry. And I loved Harry Morgan in other roles. But him as Colonel Pye, I'm like, I can't take them.
The first year he was on was still salvageable.
Charles, David Ogden Steyer, I'm like,
Charles Emerson Winchester III.
I couldn't take it.
Thank you, Colonel.
Yeah.
And here's one that you broke to me, which is kind of because, I've been a listener of CBS radio in New York for years. I love that 60s, 70s.
Oh, absolutely.
And you brought this up, Jay Black.
Jay Black and the Americans. Oh, my God. Come a little bit closer. A huge fan.
Big time.
There's like a CD. Like all you need, there's a CD. Greatest hits or something of Jay Black and the Americans. That's all you need.
Yep.
And every great song they've done. I'm a huge fan. I'm sorry to hear that. Jay Black played at, John Gotti's daughter's wedding. And John Gotti, of course, only got by on a plumber's salary.
Yeah.
Assistant plumber.
Upstanding citizen.
Right. He made $30,000 a year.
But I found out that...
But Jay Black, love their music.
A, that wasn't his real name.
Of course not.
And
Stage
B, that he was actually the second guy who played Jay Black in The Americans. Yeah. He took over for a guy. But he was 82 years old.
Yeah.
But listen, 101 CBS FM in New York. I've been listening for years. Heard him 1,000 times.
It's Cousin Bruce. Hey, cousins.
Hey, cousin. Send us an email at sportswithmonoandmono@gmail.com. Who does it better? Cousin Brucey.
All right, you do the better, Brucey.
Thank you. Jay Black. 82.
Like every other impression you do, it's better. I get it.
Yep. But listen, thanks for joining us, everybody. This has been a great show. There's a lot going on, and we told you there's gonna be some. We had a couple of easy weeks from notable passings, but this week,
unfortunately, they're getting caught up. Yep.
Enjoy the sports weekend, and we look forward to hearing from you. And again, please send us an email at
sportsmonoandmono@gmail.com.
Yep. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
You got it. Have a great week.
All right, Steve. You too.
Bye.